I'm not saying he's great. I'm not going to say he's going to have a great game, but there are a lot of quarterbacks that are on bye this week. So if you need a quarterback, I say go with Matt Castle.
That's good. I already said in my sleep, but I'll repeat it again because I messed up the whole segment saying all my stuff early. But again, mine's is Tavares Jackson again. You have Randy Moss, Harvin, and AP. There's a lot of weapons to work with.
Keelan Williams, don't let me down. You're the best third down back not named Kevin Falk. That's the only name I can think of. Anyway, it's time for another break. When we come back, we're going to discuss the Applebee's Blog Talk Radio segment.
I'm a champion, realize Shaq's mechanism. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hi, Shaquille O'Neal for Rad. This is not your normal PSA. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna go out and have a good time, it's fine. But designate a driver to drive home. Let's stop the madness. Don't drink and drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
They finally let me talk. All right, welcome back, everybody. Before we go into college football, you can catch me and Fish talking every Sunday on Applebee's Radio at www.blogtalkradio.com/Applebee's. Applebee's is spelled APOGEEZS.
Let's cue that clip. You forgot that part. That's why we don't let you talk. Let's cue the Applebee's segment.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, let's get into this today. I want to talk about this Heisman Trophy. Right now, they got Cam Newton, which I'm agreeing with, as number one. They got Kellen Moore as number two. I'm totally against it. I don't understand how he's even in Heisman talk. You got LaMichael James from Oregon, the running back, at 3. Terrell Pryor at 4, and then Denard Robinson at 5. Then they got Andrew Luck at Stanford, which I don't see how he's in the Heisman talk either, up there, and TCU behind him. So right now, that's the top 7 for the Heisman. They have TCU, Andy Dalton moving up, which I don't see how you're moving up when you – there's nothing special you have to do when you TCU right now. There's nothing you have to do. It's not like you making that last-second pass or you moving the team down in the last 2 minutes of a tight game. You're beating people 56-4. I don't get it. So y'all two chime in. What's y'all top 7? You guys, what you got, Will? Who's your top 7? Let's talk about this, because I'm totally against. And somebody got talking into Kellen Moore. I don't see him. I don't see anybody on Boise State being up for the Heisman. I mean, the Heisman Trophy is the best player in the nation, and normally you prove yourself the best player against a tough competition, making that run, breaking 7 tackles, making that interception at the end of the game, making that sack against the number 1 team in the nation. But Boise, who do they play? I mean, the toughest game this year is Oregon State. I don't get it.
Well, if I had, I don't have necessarily a list. I do have the guy who, if I had to pick right now, the guy to win the Heisman, it would be Cameron Newton from the quarterback from Auburn. He plays in the SEC, which is by far the toughest collegiate football conference. All he's done is consistently make plays with his arm and with his legs all season, and has continued to rally Auburn. No one, and coming into the season, I don't think anyone thought that Auburn would play up to such a high level if they've played so far this year. So Cameron Newton would be my number 1. My number 2 would be the running back from Oregon. His name
was nice.
Yeah. His name is with me right now off the top of my head.
James.
But if I had, he would be my number 2. My number 3, I would probably have to go with Terrell Pryor as my number 3. Even though he had maybe one bad game this year, but he's consistently put together good performances, and Ohio State, even though they lost to Wisconsin, they look like they're starting to rebound this week when they beat Purdue so convincingly.
Yeah, I agree. And we got somebody on the message board who they put out there that TCU and Oregon, that's a lot of pressure, having to lead their team every week, and win big. They're not playing anybody. I got to get on the message board so I can type back to them. I'm logging in there right now. But my thing is, they're not playing anybody. I mean, you leading your team against what? What? 50, 60, it's nothing special you have to do. I can understand if you're leading your team against these big teams and you was only winning 14, after you come off a big win. Don't even have a big win. I agree. I hear what you're saying out there in the chat room that, hey, they have to lead against a he has to lead in the play. I think his name is Nicolo in the chat room. I don't see it, man. You're blowing people away. I want to see the quarterback from TCU and the quarterbacks from Boise State in a tight game at the end fight their way through, but the schedule doesn't allow for it. It just doesn't allow, and that's just the sad thing about the BCS. Until they fix that system, Boise State and TCU are screwed.
One thing about BCS, if I can say something, one thing about Boise State, they only can play who in front of them. And Kellen Moore, he has had some big games, some comeback wins against a good team like Oregon State, against who we thought were a good team, but now they're ranked again in Virginia Tech. They have had some good games. If they haven't lost any games in the last 2 years, he has been putting up the numbers. So I think they deserve some kind of recognition. I don't agree that he's in I say he's in the top 5. I don't believe he's in the top 3 of the best players in the nation. I also like Cam Newton. I like Michael James. I think Denard Robinson, with the last 2-3 games that he's had, I think he's fallen out of the race. I think Ryan Mallett, he didn't probably creep himself back in the race. And also I like DeMarco Murray out of Oklahoma. He has like 14 total touchdowns. He's leading the nation as far as scoring points with his 14 total touchdowns. Terrell Pryor also, you got to put him in the mix. And I think you got to keep Kellen Moore in the mix also.
Well, I think the reason you quarterback.
Well, the reason you leave Kellen Moore in the mix is his team's pretty much undefeated, so you're going to give him that credit for that one. He's almost, if he was putting up numbers of which a Ty Debner was doing back in the day for BYU, then I would probably consider him having more of a first place type votes. But right now, I mean, the best I can see him receiving is like those third and fourth place votes. I mean, he really hasn't proven anything to even consider himself a top-tier front-runner of a Heisman Trophy winner. Me personally, I'm going with Cam Newton. I think it's going to really come down to a 3-horse race of Cam Newton, Terrell Pryor, and James out of Oregon. And then really the basis of who's going to win it is how good they can take their team to that next level. If one of those guys can get their team to that national championship, I think those are the guys. Those two guys. Those two guys will be the ones you'll be seeing as a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down between Michael James and Terrell Pryor, because I think at the end was going to hurt Cam Newton. So I think they're going to lose to Alabama in that last game of the year, and I think that's pretty much going to hurt them right there on the national stage right there at the end. And I think Oregon is going to pretty much put it on Oregon State and Ohio State up until this point. They don't play nobody else, so Terrell Pryor is looking to have some pretty good games. So I think it's going to be up between Terrell Pryor or Michael James, and if Boise State, they run the table Kellen Moore, but I think at the end of the day, when Michael James comes away with the Heisman Trophy, the boys explosive. He's number one running back as far as rushing the ball. So I like Michael James.
But you still got to keep Robinson in. Just because he had a few, they lost right now. The boy's still putting up incredible numbers.
Yeah, but he can't even
he hasn't played anybody. Like those numbers weren't against. Those numbers weren't against. Those numbers he was killing weren't against. The Big Ten schedule. Those were against those Connecticut's. And I think what people want to see is, can Denard Robinson do that against if Michigan was playing Ohio State defense, will Denard Robinson put those type of stats up? I mean, he really hasn't put those like mind-boggling statistics he was doing at the beginning of the season against upper echelon type teams. So if he can find a way to do that, then you can put him in more in consideration for the Heisman Trophy. But right now, I think that he needs a spectacular finish to be able to get back into the race as far as being the 1 or 2 guy.
Well, I don't think he's 1 or 2 right now, but I think he can get back into it pretty quick with just an amazing game. Because even against Michigan State, even against Michigan State and a loss, he put up some good numbers. He just has no help. And in that case,
he would have to withstand that for an entire season, and I don't think he's built to do that yet. Maybe come next year, after he has a full season under his belt as a starting quarterback, because I think he's only going to get better. But I think next year is going to really be the season that he really blows everybody away, because you got to remember this is just his first year start, and really also learn how to throw the forward pass.
Yeah, one thing about him, even though he's still leading the nation